we have the mic open. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, make sure the mic is on there.
It is. I see the.
Give people a couple minutes.
We're moving.
To creep on over.
It says end stream, which means we're alive.
Tim Harper says, howdy doody. You're the first one here, Tim.
Howdy doody.
Hi, Tim. Very cool.
Say, kids, what time is it? It's howdy doody time. It's howdy doody time. It's watch the Mummy and the Monkey tonight.
All right. We'll give it another minute or so. Eric says giggity. Connie says hi.
Giggity,
hi, Miss Connie.
Giggity, goo.
Yeah, we'll give people a minute to get into the chatting with us. Yeah, it took us a couple minutes to get signed in here on YouTube. When we change the channel and switch on over to YouTube, it's like a different stuff.
Plus, I had to take a dump, so.
And Grimm had to poop.
Just kidding. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. You'll never know.
Just don't fling it at anyone and we're good. Yeah.
I didn't fling it, I flushed it. Different FL word.
Okay, there we go.
Where's my little, I thought I had a little,
what are you looking for, Grimm?
A little bowl, but maybe I didn't. Oh, well.
Yeah, I don't, did you need a little bowl for your pretzels?
Nope, we'll just use that one.
Okay. All right.
I don't want to be that guy in the movie theater sitting behind you while you're watching the movie, eating this stupid popcorn.
No, that is something I don't miss when you go to a movie theater. There's always that one idiot on their phone.
That's in front of you.
That's right in front of you.
The guy on the popcorn is never in front of you. He's behind you.
Yeah, and then there's always someone behind you with some crinkly, annoying bag of snacks.
Paper or plastic.
Yeah.
You know, with the whatever it is they have in the plastic, oh my God.
So don't be that guy when movie theaters do open back up. Yeah, don't be that guy.
Don't worry, people will be just as ill-behaved as they ever have been. Because that's how people are. But I welcome that. I think I kind of want that now, strangely enough. Can you imagine that?
Simpler times.
Way simpler.
That was in the before times.
When you think things were horrible, they were actually pretty sweet.
Popcorn.
Whew. That's why I switched to pretzels. I want to deal with those hulls.
Yeah, it just gets to you. All right, so we have an interesting topic for the evening, and I think this is going to be fun to talk about. And I'm really surprised we haven't talked about it before. Grimm, I need to be able to see the comments.
Family planning? What are you talking about?
Grimm, I need to see the comments.
I got you. I got your back. Just chill.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. Just move them over a little bit.
Those are pretty faces. Like, okay.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Grimm.
You're welcome, Decay.
How about a crying baby? Yeah, and then there's always like a crying kid in the movie theater.
Yeah, but that's a
not,
different topic.
Yeah, that's a whole different.
If we're talking, okay, that is an interesting topic though, and I don't want to. Okay, maybe we could split it in
the
half.
movie theater pet peeves.
Anything that you thought was annoying before that you did in mass.
Oh,
right?
like when you would go see a movie or when you would go
for
out.
example,
yeah.
Like people on their. Do you miss that at all? Because now you can't do that. I mean, does it like make you at least feel like you would deal with that just to be able to go see a movie?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
See, and that's part of the reason why we didn't go see a lot of movies in the theaters, because there was always that one dummy on their phone, or the one dummy making noise with their bag of snacks.
All right, so.
Oh well.
Maybe we'll ponder that and we'll talk about that next week. But tonight's
topic is physical media versus digital. Like as in these live streaming services, or if you have stuff saved somewhere in your cloud.
Right.
Let
me tell. Yeah, go ahead.
So physical media could be your VHS, your DVD, even Blu-rays. I mean, are considered like old by like some people's standards.
So you and I definitely have that in common.
8mm film, 16mm film.
I'll say coming up.
Yeah.
We were like CD and DVD people, right? And cassette tape even
CDs,
for me.
cassette tapes.
Now cassette tapes were never the best thing in the world because they would get tangled up, and that's why when CDs came along, they were like this amazing revolutionary thing, right?
Yeah.
But for the longest time, you could either have your, even your VHS tape was, a little bit better than, it wasn't that bad. I mean, they would charge you like $80 for a new VHS back in the day. Ting, giant wooden shoes on. All right. Come the revolution of MP3. That's when it all changed.
Yeah, it was like, early 2003 thing.
Wave, W-A-V.
Dot wave files.
Yeah, but MP3s were better than that, because waves are a little kind of gurgly and not the best.
Yeah.
It was kind of...
3 is like a better way to go with that.
Even though audio files will say MP3 will never be as good as, AIFF files or whatever, but still, which is a regular CD file which you listen to, but still, I mean, it's hard to tell the difference unless you're, like, really into that kind of stuff,
Right.
It's, Apple's. It's silly. It's really minutiae.
Well, and I noticed with, like, new cars now, there's no CD players.
Right.
Everything is, like, streaming, or, you plug in your phone or your iPod.
And that alone was, like, a big threat to audio.
We still buy CDs. Like, when we don't go out too much anymore, but when we would go out, it was, we would buy a lot of CDs from these thrift stores.
Oh, don't forget vinyl. Yeah, I mean, that
yard sales, vinyl.
Vinyl existed before tape. Well, not really. It was around the same time, but they had the reel-to-reel tape.
There's always, reel-to-reel, but that's really obscure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a more expensive technology. And then they dumbed it down to the cassette recorder, which is a lot different than the reel-to-reel. That was technically reel-to-reel, but you know what we're talking about, right? The units that you have to take one reel, load it onto an uptake disc, or
reel to reel
to an
where
uptake
it's
reel.
like
But so fast forward, if you will, to the cloud. Now that was the thing that changed everything, and I saw that. I'm like, really? They want you to like buy everything that you don't physically own, and what happens when that crashes? What happens once that goes away?
iTunes,
you know
like
what happens?
people were.
You got to buy it all over again.
Yeah, then you have to buy it all over again.
So I think that was the plan. Is how do you get people to...
Stuff could go missing, your computer could crash, your iPod or your phone could die, and then what are you going to do?
Naoko is here. Hey, Naoko.
Hi,
people.
Naoko.
I think it's going to turn to the Naoko show.
Naoko show.
That's okay.
That's okay. We love Naoko.
So yeah. So we're
I'm gonna look at the comments real quick.
Right.
Tom says, I love the beta tapes. They were better than VHS. They last
higher
longer.
resolution,
Than VHS. I have Elvis Aloha from Hawaii on beta, and it's still in good shape. Oh, cool.
Yes. Well, we're gonna get into all that tonight.
Yeah, we're gonna talk more in depth about that too.
Whether it's music or video, because I am like a big archivist.
Audiophile,
videophile archivist. I've been saving, videotape.
Grimm's just a pack rat.
Well, no, it's not about being a pack rat.
I'm just
it's like
teasing
I
you.
love my past. I love everything that that I've ingested visually and audibly, and I want to preserve that.
Mm-hmm.
I have a Betamax player. I don't have a Laserdisc. I used to have a Laserdisc player.
I used
but
to
I got
have
rid of
a
it.
Laserdisc player a long time ago too.
But I got rid of it, unfortunately. But there's nothing really different about that. I mean, there's everything you could find.
Honestly, the Laserdisc quality was so for people that don't know what a Laserdisc is, it looked like a giant CD.
A giant silver
It was
disc,
silver and shiny like a record.
Right, imagine a vinyl record,
but
a 12-inch
it looked like
record.
a giant CD and it played a movie.
It was thicker than a regular vinyl record and silver like a CD.
Yeah, and it would play a movie, and it was two-sided, and the quality was like VHS quality, but on a CD. It was the strangest thing, and it didn't really look that great. But I know, like back then, it was like, ooh, it's the future, Laserdisc.
But some things got released on the different formats. Things were released differently to them. Like some stuff like Star Wars. There's a couple of Star Wars movies. The first 3, I think, that exist on a version of VHS and on Laserdisc that does not exist on DVD or Blu-ray.
Yeah,
there's always like little quirky things.
Were maybe like the Laserdisc. So I think with like some of the horror films and like Evil Dead, they had like the VHS version, the Laserdisc version, and some stuff was on one but not the other. One might have had like an alternate cover.
Eric Pickle says Laserdisc costs like $300 though. You know what costs $300 too? DVD components when they first came out.
Oh,
and CD players.
Ooh, that reminds me. So
Mr. Cotter.
So when PlayStation 2, remember PlayStation 2 when that first came out, the big selling point for a PS2 was that it had a built-in DVD player.
Yes, you could watch your movies and play your games.
20 years ago, when DVD players were still new, they were like a couple $100 or more.
So the geniuses thought, hey,
if you're gonna be buying a new video game system, it might as well play movies too.
Right, a great idea.
And then I remember they were like $1,000 when they, like, there was something weird with the PS2 where, like, they were hard to find. It was odd, but weird stuff.
John Biggins says, anybody still have cassettes? They don't seem to last. Cassettes are the biggest pain in the butt.
Yeah, and the quality isn't very good.
Well,
like, it doesn't hold up.
The problem with cassettes is there's no way to save them. If they get crinkled up or ate in the tape player,
it's gone.
The crinkling will cause a defect to the sound. Whereas a CD, if they get scratched up, you can get them buffed out, the bottom part. If the top part of the CD gets scratched, it's no good because that's where all the information is on a foil strip that's underneath the printing or whatever's on the top of a CD.
Right.
A lot of people put a CD face down and don't want to scratch it. They go, oh, turn it the other way. That's not true. The top part has the under part of the top part has the information. The bottom part of the CD is just a plastic protection for the top foil part.
Yeah, because the scratch is like...
You can buff that out.
You could buff... There's machines to, like, buff the
So
scratches
the laser can read the information that's on the
Yeah.
foil that's printed. All the information is printed on the foil label underneath the top printed part. Anyway.
Naoko said something about, cassettes should come with a pencil.
Yeah, right? You're right, Naoko. That's how I still fix mine.
Yeah, because you would have to wind them back, to try to fix them.
I even got good where I could, like, twirl it and it would rewind it. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But, and the one annoying thing about cassettes for me is that there's a little rectangle cotton, like a fabric part.
That piece of felt.
That felt.
Yes! And I didn't really...
If that felt gets dislodged, you get a muddy sounding tape.
So your tape is...
It's got a bassy sound to it.
Oh,
you
so
have
it's
to,
like pretty much ruined.
It's just barely glued on there on that little metal piece.
You have to glue it back or whatever.
You have to reattach it. It's a pain in the butt, right?
Oh,
so, but the good thing about cassettes were like the MP3s of their time. In other words, they were afraid that if you could record your favorite album on a cassette and share it with everybody, the record industry would be dead. That wasn't true until MP3 came along. Cassettes didn't kill the music industry. MP3 did.
Yeah, because people were downloading, what was that site?
Anything.
Napster?
Napster
Yeah,
and
Napster.
LimeWire.
LimeWire.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Yeah, people were like, well, I could download it for free.
Well, the quality's not as good, but the quality's not that. It's better. The quality from CD to MP3 was better than vinyl to cassette. Totally different thing.
Cassettes getting stuck in a car tape deck. Ruined.
Getting stuck into any deck.
Yeah.
The worst. No
yeah,
good.
that's annoying.
And they would charge you those formats, and it didn't matter because people liked their music, right?
I remember one of my old cars had a cassette player, and I remember getting the adapter for it to play CDs in the car, thinking, oh, it's so cool, I could play CDs in the car.
Drake H says it is said that the porn industry is what really got VHS going and the beta industry moving in the 1970s. That is absolutely true.
Betamax was popular for the adult films.
No, it wasn't.
No?
No.
Or was I wrong?
The other way
No,
around.
it's the other way around. That's
VHS
right.
put out more porn titles.
Put out more adult movies.
And that revolution, and then people just, come on. I mean, look at the internet. I mean, one of my favorite Mad TV skits, right? Remember Mad TV? Anybody out there in the 90s?
Avenue Q, there's that one song, The Internet is for...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a bit on Mad TV was a TV show that was on Fox Television. It's kind of like Saturday Night Live, right? It was a skit show.
I remember Mad TV.
And they did an Antiques Roadshow spoof where someone brought it was in the future, like in the year 20-something, 2030 or whatever. And someone brought a desktop computer, right, with the monitor and the desktop, the tower,
like a 90s desktop.
The tower, the keyboard, and the big monitor.
Yeah.
And they brought it to like an appraiser or whatever, one of those guys that like tell you what things are.
It would be an appraiser.
And they said, they go, I don't know what this is. I found it at a flea market. And they look at a desktop computer from the 90s. And they go, okay, this thing was used for people used to look at porn on this. That was his definition for a computer.
Okay.
So there you go.
Enough talking about that. I don't want us to get dinged here.
No.
Yeah, gotta watch what we say here on the YouTube.
No. Adult stuff. All right.
Adult movies, yes, adult films.
Videos. Clips. Who watches videos?
All right, so there's...
Hairy Scary Hangover, by the way. We didn't say that.
Oh yeah, we didn't even do the intro.
Welcome everybody to the Mummy and the Monkey's Hairy Scary Hangover.
Yes, so this is the Hairy Scary Hangover. We are The Mummy and the Monkey. I'm Janet Decay.
And I'm Grimm Gorri, I guess.
And this is episode 20.
That's right.
And we host... For those people just stumbling in on our YouTube channel, not knowing what the heck's going on, we host cheesy B movies on our Facebook page, The Mummy and the Monkey, on Friday nights. And right after, we jump on over to YouTube and we have these little talk shows.
So someone's mentioned 8-track tapes.
8-tracks.
Oh boy, that never really took off.
Isn't that worse than cassettes?
It's a combination. It's like a bigger cassette tape that you had to, like, halfway through a song, you'd have to hit a button that said, like, you know, I forget what the name of that was, but yeah, halfway through a song it would flip over to the next half of the song.
So you couldn't even listen to like the whole song.
No, it would stop. It was horrible. Not a good format. Not even that sturdy. It was just as bad as a cassette. Worse than a cassette.
Every 8-track player we have found at thrift stores or going out looking, they never work. And when we find the tapes, they're in really bad condition. Like, I don't think people really buy them or really look for them anymore. Because there are people that still collect vintage records. There's some people that will still collect vintage cassettes. But I think 8-track is one of those where it's kind of like, you know, people don't really...
So John Biggins asked a good question. Ever find a broken cassette tape on the street and the tape was right in the street? Absolutely, John. And I have some of those in my possession. And I found some funny stuff on found cassette tapes and videotapes as well. I'm a connoisseur of that. You know, people seem to, it's like before the internet, people still unleashed who they were on cassette tape. I remember as a young ape, I used to sit with my little cassette recorder, skit shows and stuff, like kind of like Big Chuck and Little John. The stuff I grew up with, I used to do my own little skits and shows.
So you would tell jokes and stuff.
Yep, and jokes, make up goofy things like that. I still have a few of those left. But I do randomly, from time to time, still find other people in this wide world that have done the same thing on video and on audio. I love finding that kind of stuff. So
that's cool.
And Albert, of course, is my. I think Albert's my soul. Was a spirit animal.
There you go.
Albert says.
What's he saying?
Albert said, "How was the movie, guys? Missed it. Sitting by a campfire drinking a beer." Oh, Albert.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Albert. He is my spirit animal.
It sucked when it broke in the middle of the song and faded out. Clicked to the next track and then faded back in. Yeah. Oh, talking about the 8-tracks. Yeah.
I never understood that technology. I just thought it was very clunky and odd. But, you know, if I find a new one, I'll buy an 8-track player just to have it, just in case I find something that might be worth listening to.
I don't know. Because
I have another.
Anytime I find the 8-track players or the tapes, they're all busted up broken.
But I have another reason.
Like, it's not really worth it.
We went to a yard sale a few years ago where they had a brand new 8-track player in a box. We didn't buy it. I wish I did now.
I don't think people buy them.
I'm thinking about. I'm gonna have to be hunting for one of those maybe soon.
Well,
maybe I don't know.
Maybe. But yeah, people still collect the vintage records and like the punk records. You know, metal, rock and roll, blues, like a lot of that stuff people still look for. There's some that are just hard to find. There's one record that I am looking for, and I don't know if I'll ever find it. What is it? It's a little 45.
You'll never find it.
It's Tarantula Ghoul. You already know.
I already know.
Tarantula Ghoul. Even the remake, the reproduction is hard to find.
Very expensive.
There was a company in England that
repressed it.
And yeah, even that's like...
Tarantula Ghoul, Graveyard Rock, and the B-side was King Kong.
Yeah. And
it was a Seattle release.
She was she was Portland's first
Oregon,
horror hostess. Yeah, and she made 2 songs, was in a band.
Good luck finding that.
Yeah.
You're talking about uber rare, ultra rare.
That's super, super rare. But yeah, that's like the holy grail of vinyl to me, if I could find a Tarantula Ghoul record.
But meanwhile, it's already on YouTube.
It is on YouTube for free, but I mean, just to have that vinyl would be awesome.
Someone said John Biggins says CBs. Now, CBs were a big thing.
CB radios? Oh, yeah, because that was before cell phones and stuff.
What does CB stand for anyway? I grew up during that era. I don't even know what it stands for.
I don't know.
Contraband radio. I don't know what it stands for.
A lot of people would talk on the radios.
But, you know, yeah. Well, yeah, but you know, that's still a thing is ham radio. That's still a thing.
Is it?
I joined a ham radio group because every now and then we find ham radio parts at estate sales and things like that.
Vintage radio pieces and
those
parts.
sell for good money. Trust us, they sell for good money.
Yeah, you've had some good luck with that, Grimm.
Yeah. I mean, we both have. I mean, we've both sold some interesting stuff from, like, some stuff we found like that, like the old telegraph keys and things like that.
Telegraph pieces and parts, yeah.
And ham radio and antique crystal radio stuff is still a thing.
Citizens Band.
Oh, CB, that's right. That's right.
CB, Citizens Band. Okay.
Yeah, Citizens Band radio.
Cool.
Yes, and that's still a thing, kind of, but ham radio is still a thing out there. You know, it's very close to pirate radio, where people can like talk about whatever they want. It's the internet before the internet, basically.
Right.
That's what that is.
So let's say,
but it's all audio. You know.
So going to the collector standpoint with the physical media. So we get it. Like, there's some people that don't buy a lot of physical media because it takes up a lot of room.
I don't. I still buy it.
But if you're a collector, let's say you have like your favorite horror films or your favorite sci-fi movies, and you want to have those like sitting on your shelf for your collection. Sometimes they come out with those like special edition Blu-rays with like the deleted scenes, and maybe it's like a fancy like box collector case. So, I mean, what do you guys think? Are there like some, even though a lot of stuff is streaming for free, do you still like to buy certain movies?
Now, I don't know what a ham sandwich is. That might be pertaining to CB lingo, but I know what a lot lizard is. Just saying.
Oh, jeez. Why are we talking about that?
Someone mentioned it.
Okay, what does that have to do with?
We're talking about CB stuff. And like,
like the truckers.
Yeah, come on, wake up.
Okay.
You brought it up.
Well, I didn't bring that up.
Well, yeah.
he brought that up.
This is your idea for a topic.
I'm talking about media, not that.
Well, but the way people communicated. The media is a communication device. You know that.
Well, it's entertainment.
A little bit.
It's an entertainment device.
CBs were totally considered entertainment back in the 70s.
Okay.
Totally.
Hey guys, missed the show. Hi, Darren. That's Powder Toast Man.
Derek Sargent, Powder Toast.
Actor.
But if you missed the show, Derek, where can you watch it?
You could catch the replay on our Facebook page, Darren.
That's right. Tomorrow, when it processes, it'll be there.
Actually, right now for the replay.
Oh,
yeah.
perfect.
I think it processes as we live stream.
What did Naoko post that they're saying?
A YouTube link.
We'll show
you can show this, which is fine. That's okay. Richard says, I found some reel-to-reels that I think are worth some money, but
really?
It's hard to find anything about them.
What did you find?
Well, what are they?
I have a reel-to-reel player.
Inquiring minds want to know.
I would really love to know that.
Yeah, Grimm has a working reel-to-reel player.
So if you don't want to talk about it here, private message us and tell us why you think they're worth money.
You could always message us or email us.
We know some people that are interested in that kind of stuff if it's not us, so we may be able to help you out. But I'm just interested to know what you have, that's all.
Yeah. Will says, it's kind of a dilemma. Physical media takes up space, but streaming it online, you're at the mercy of whatever Netflix or whoever drops the movies. Yeah, that's a good point because, Netflix and these other companies, they have a lot of great things to watch, but you never know when those shows or those movies could be dropped.
Right.
So, I'm all for, like, if you have some favorite movies or favorite shows, looking for the box set, looking for that DVD.
So Netflix has your favorite movie in the world. It's under license, and at some point it can get like you said, let go, and it gets turned over to another platform. Like who knows? Amazon could get it. They're competing all the time for material.
Right.
But if you own it physically on a disc, Blu-ray or DVD or otherwise, whatever you like to watch it in, then it's yours forever until it gets burned down. It gets lost or scratched up.
Naoko says the link is for Tarantula Ghoul and her Gravediggers.
She knows that.
Thank you, Naoko.
Naoko is hip. I like Naoko.
Domo.
She is on it.
Way cool,
She knows her stuff.
She was the first horror hostess to be in a band.
Tarantula Ghoul.
Tarantula Ghoul, yes.
Not Naoko.
No, not Naoko. Although she could start a band if she wants
to. Naoko should start a band.
She should.
She have a lot of fans like that.
She could play cowbell.
Or whatever. Who knows what she plays. The cloud is not secure. See, I never understood that. I mean, I saw this as a ploy, obviously, because look, when people make a product, it's all about selling it, right? And once you lose a way to distribute it, like with your CDs, if you're a band, you make a CD and one person gets it out there and they copy it and share it with everybody. Yeah. You're not making any money. The only money you're going to make is at a live venue, and selling your merchandise, tickets, etc.
Yeah.
So the powers that be said, well, we'll put it on a cloud. We'll make it a virtual, so you can have your whole library of things here on the cloud. But then when the cloud gets deactivated
or your
something,
account gets hacked.
there's a glitch.
Or there's a glitch.
You'll have to probably purchase all that stuff again.
Yeah, so I think it's good to have...
because back in the day...
In my opinion, anyway, I think it's good to have a backup and have, like, your shelf of movies.
This is how it worked. Back in the day, when I bought a cassette or a CD, if the tape player, it's not the record store's fault. Mm-hmm. So I have to buy the cassette again. If the CD I have gets scratched up, it's not the record store's fault.
So you have to go buy it again.
You gotta buy it again. Do that virtually. Oh, we put it on the cloud, and oh my stars and garters, the cloud had a defect, or someone hacked us, or there was a glitch. You'll have to purchase all your again. Well, sorry.
And I noticed with the fandom, especially the horror movie fans, when we would go to the conventions, all will bring their DVDs and have them signed.
Yes.
So if there's an actor there that stars in a movie, they bring that movie and say, hey, sign this. We have our DVDs for sale, and then people will buy the DVDs and we sign it. So it's also like a cool collector piece. Not only is it a great way to back up your favorite movies, have that physical media, but you could use it as a, it's like, sweet, it's also signed. It's like...
Say what you will.
Makes it more awesome.
Say what you will, but there is something interesting to me about, and you too as well, about the beginnings of all this. Gary Smith says...
Yes.
The oldest thing he has in his house is his father's Edison cylinder player. Cylinder records. Now.
Cylinder. That's the wax cylinder.
Before vinyl.
Before vinyl.
Before the flat 12-inch disc, Edison and other Victrola, they made cylinders. There was like literally like a toilet paper roll, basically. The shape of a toilet paper roll, but it was wax.
Yeah, and it was wax, and it had all the music notes and stuff on there.
Somehow, and
it would play on there.
You place in your wax, your cylinder player, and it plays it.
Yeah,
the sound can't be beat.
That is so awesome.
It's the kind of sound that they try to recreate in some of these virtual players to get the click, the clicks and the pops and everything,
Those old wax cylinder players, the old what are they called, gramophones.
Yeah, all of that stuff.
It's just so neat. And they would make them all elaborate where it looked like a fancy piece of furniture. We had a couple in our shop that
played pretty good.
They played pretty good, yeah.
We sold them and gave them away one of them. Mm-hmm. Wow. Player piano rolls, all that stuff is still, out there.
Yeah, the piano rolls.
Yeah, people always found a way to entertain themselves and create technology. That was some of that old technology is still mind blowing how they did it. Mm-hmm.
Naoko likes death metal.
Of course.
Awesome.
Yeah, she is the real deal, Naoko.
Are there any good record stores left on the west side? I still go to Record Den in Mentor. Is
Record Revolution still around in Coventry? Mm-hmm. I don't know.
I don't know. There's a Record Exchange.
That's not the same.
That's
not
the
same thing. That's not the same. No offense to them, but it's not the same thing they're talking about. Not quite.
No.
They're talking about old school, not even the chain ones like Camelot or Peaches, not that.
Maybe
or FYE, not like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're talking about those stores.
I know what you mean, but that's the closest I can think of.
I can't think of the name. There was one shop I used to go to get really cool Jimi Hendrix bootlegs.
We're talking about stores in Northeast Ohio that would sell records.
When I was living in Pittsburgh in the 80s, there was a place called Ides, and there was Jerry's Records. Jerry's Records in Pittsburgh, in where the in the college part of the town. That guy had all this really cool stuff that you couldn't get anywhere else. It was where you got it was like the Napster before Napster.
My Mind's Eye in Lakewood, says David.
That was still around.
I bet they're still around. Yeah, that's right.
You're talking about Chris's Warped Records. That's gone now. In Lakewood, that's gone.
They closed down a long time ago.
But yeah.
My Mind's Eye. Okay. Cool.
There are places, and if you search the internet, you can find pretty much anything you want.
Yeah, I'm sure there's still a few around. At the time, I just couldn't think of any. The closest one was the Exchange, but they sell video games and movies too. All right, so when Grimm and I collect physical media, we're frugal. We're very cheap. We look for stuff on sale. We look for stuff discounted or secondhand. We go to yard sales, we go to flea markets, the thrift stores, and a lot of times we can find DVDs, CDs, vinyl, dirt cheap. like $1, $2. And we found some pretty good albums.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Some pretty good DVDs, VHS. The best VHS score was, I think, 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago?
What are you talking about?
Where we got all those VHS for $20. It was like a truckload of VHS for $20.
Oh, that was well, but it was all like
there were some good ones in there.
Some of them were
I sold most of them.
We bought basically a SUV full of boxes and with totes full of video and beta.
Yeah, it was Betamax
$20.
We paid $20 for it.
For probably close to 1,000 tapes.
Yeah.
I would imagine. I haven't counted them all, but I still have some I've never looked through yet.
And some of them we sold at conventions. Some of them I sold in the store when I had the store.
They have paid for themselves over and over.
Some of them I put online. Some we kept.
There's stuff we haven't even looked through yet.
Yeah, and there's still a couple boxes we have to look through.
There's stuff you have not even seen yet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was cool.
I think that was the coolest score, and it was from, like, maybe a couple of guys that were doing a clean out.
It was close to the end of the flea market. They wanted to go.
They didn't want to pack all that
I said,
up.
what do you want for that stuff? He goes, you can have the whole truck for $20. I'm like, okay. Got to say yes to that. I got to pull that trigger.
Pack the car full of VHS.
Yeah. It was great.
It was so funny.
Yeah, I mean, every now and then it'll be some. The second best thing to that was when we went to that yard sale we went to, where we went to a backyard. There was nobody really there. They had, I'm not even joking, I'm not even exaggerating, they had 4 6x3 tables, right?
Just filled with DVDs.
Stacked with, they said, you could have all this for $15. We're like, we were dumb because they had like 5 for $1.
We really should have bought them all.
I think they had like 5 or 10 for $1. But they said you can have all of them for $15.
They just wanted to get rid of them.
We were like, oh, we felt bad. Like, we don't want to take all your DVDs. So we bought like $40 worth of DVDs, like idiots.
At the time, we should have just bought.
And it was before you opened the thrift crate.
That was right. That was before I had the store.
You could have had a wall full of DVDs. we just cherry picked the horror ones. But a lot of the titles were common titles. It's stuff that nobody really cares about.
But they had like some anime, some horror. So we did buy some that were kind of cool.
We did. We cherry picked all.
There were others that were like kind of
common stuff. It's nothing that they really care about. It's
like
like maybe a nickel or a quarter because you can't really sell some of these things.
So it's if you are a collector, it's always fun to go out and look for that stuff and see if you could get a good deal. See if you could find it on sale.
Drake said, "How many copies of Titanic?" 300. I don't know.
That's true. You always see that in a thrift store.
Freaking Titanic.
That darn movie.
Yeah, it was sappy, but it ain't worth nothing.
Yeah, it's not worth watching again.
It's not worth buying. I mean, no one's gonna buy it.
What are the other comments?
We didn't get it, Drake.
My brother thought he had an autographed Beatles record. After 40 years, our cousin confessed he signed the names.
You son of a...
Oh! Wow! Burn!
Well, somebody would have figured that one out.
That's a mean joke.
Wow.
Jeez. That's funny, though. But so mean. So mean.
James, I'm trying to get that. Let's see the last name. Musalaria says, Janet and Grimm. I'm sorry if I didn't say your last name right, James. Janet and Grimm, I have some of my dad's old 78s that are on one side only. Cleveland used to have some Tommy Edwards, and I met Lou Christie there. You know what?
Cool.
78s are you got to be careful with them because they're very brittle and they're very delicate. But obviously made, in America when they were, and there's a lot of blues titles that are worth a lot of money. And I remember seeing some kind of a thing about 78s where they were so like disgusted with it, like back when they were making them, they were just like throwing them in the river. They were like just kind of pitching them.
Oh man!
And so there's like some river out there in or in Cleveland that's like full of 78 records.
Broken records.
No, who knows if they broke?
Well, they would be.
But they're probably worth a ton of money.
Those 78 smash rolls.
Those
are
brittle.
really old. Yeah, they're very brittle.
Well, 78s now are very, very brittle.
They smash roll easy.
Wow, but that's a cool get, James, if you got them.
Brennan says, check out Brook Thrift Store in Hartville whenever you hit the Hartville Flea Market.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know if we'll get to go this season or not. So, we will.
We have enough stuff to go through here in our place.
There's a lot of stuff here, and then we're
good for about a little bit.
We're still a little leery about going into crowded places, so
Yeah.
There are still viruses going around.
Yeah.
It didn't go away.
Yeah,
It didn't magically go away. It's still there.
Contrary to popular belief, we're still
Yeah.
dealing with a pandemic, everybody.
Yeah, despite
Just
everything
saying.
else.
We're not going to talk about it here, but come on.
Right.
We have a thrift store in Medina, Kitten Crazy, and you buy a bag for $5.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, those are every now and then. Some flea markets we go to. There's a fill a bag for $1, things like that. Those are good to find.
Church rummage sales whenever those come back. Yeah.
Kirk Harrington's spinning that cassette on a which I still do to this day because I have a lot of that kind of stuff. The trick, you know what a tricky thing is like fixing a VHS tape. That's kind of tricky.
A VHS?
Yeah, like
that sounds like it would be tough.
Just the other day, I had to transplant a couple of reels to like dump like Frankenstein. Replacing a brain into a body. Well, not that complicated, but
jeez.
You take the reels and you put them into another chassis of a VHS cassette, because it wouldn't rewind or whatever. So I did it twice successfully last week, and I was happy about it.
You have to watch though, because like there's been VHS that we've picked up where you look through the little window on the tape where you see the film. And it's like
white mold.
It has that white fuzzy mold on it.
Yeah, that white mold.
So you have to watch, because if you buy VHS that smells like a basement, it could have that mold in there.
You can't clean it off, but
that could ruin
it is very hard to do.
And then that mold can also get in your VCR.
Yeah.
And that's no fun. Yeah, there's been tapes where they looked like really good tapes, and I'm like, oh, these are rare. And then you open it, and it's like, oh, it's moldy. Crap.
Albert says 48 Crash Susie Quattro. I love Susie Quattro. Pinky Tuscadero.
Gary says, I've gone to Jamie's flea market the last couple of weeks. The amount of customers was very light.
Really?
That's actually good, because you
Man,
don't want to get too close to anybody right now.
Because a lot of people are still freaked out.
Well, yeah.
Well, hey, you know what, Gary, is there a lot of people, is there a lot of vendors there? Is there a lot of good stuff there?
Yeah, did you find anything cool there? That's good to know. Maybe we'll check it out if we feel brave.
Yeah, see, I think a lot of this kind of some of the formats we're talking about tonight, like tape and even CD, are like very archaic to like a lot of young people now.
Yeah, we probably sound like old people to them. Back in my day.
But I'll tell you,
I walked up the hill both ways.
Yeah,
no shoes,
and
I had to rewind my tape.
Carrington says it's fun sticking food in the VCR. I recently...
Oh, no.
We were at a church, so we were at a church rummage sale last year, and I found a device on your VCR to keep from kids doing just that.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I sold it. Yeah, it was like a little bit of a lock that you would put on the feet, because kids would always put sandwiches in there.
They would put stuff in there.
Because it fit.
Yeah.
Hey, when you raise a kid to put, like, you give them that ball, right? That has like a square peg, a round peg, a triangle peg, a square. They're gonna say, shoot. I can do that with anything, And as an adult, I still do that.
Yeah, she's grim. All right, so
but usually it's square peg and round hole.
Another format is 16mm film and 8mm.
Nobody messes with that.
So I don't know if there's any people out there that collect the film reels.
I don't even know how to even load that. You are better at that than I am.
So the 16mm really mess with, because it's harder to find. But
you could blindfold load an 8mm.
But 8mm film, the smaller film reels, yeah, they manage.
But is there a difference in the sprockets, right? Is there a difference with 8mm?
I think it's a different size because it's real smaller.
Even with 8 though? Eight always the same?
I think it's, and then there's Super 8s.
Oh, okay.
Super 8 has sound.
Okay.
I think that's the difference. Super 8 has sound. 8mm does not have sound, and the sprockets and everything might be a little bit different, whatever you call it. But yeah, we have our friend 40 Seconds from Cinema Wasteland, and he puts together Grindhouse Purgatory magazine, and he's a film collector. So we've had gotten to watch some cool
Richard. I
movies on 16mm.
Yeah, Richard, your whole thing about Susie and Pinky. Because it came up as flag because you said you use an ASS word, but who cares?
You're right. What was that?
He's talking about Pinky. He's like Susie Quattro and Pinky Tuscadero. Like it's like women like into rock.
Oh,
kicking butt in rock. Yeah.
I gotcha. 8mm is okay. Well, some of it is, not all of it.
Look.
Wait, so the cool thing about the 8mm, we have piles of
preview.
like vacation video, family vacation video, and there's a lot we want to look through in case it's really cool on there, or maybe something that we could use for the show as like stock footage. So that's why I keep the 8mm projector around, because there's I want to look through and digitize. And our friend Jay Summers from the Big Chuck and Little John Facebook group, he's way into the meter film.
Hey, check this out too. There's a high chance this Ghoulardi was so Ghoulardi was a horror host, very popular.
It's the first big horror host.
I mean, in Cleveland, I mean, like 3/4 of the population watched this guy on Friday night, at least for 2 years.
Yeah.
You know, they were definitely in front of their television. I mean, 3/4 of a city's population watching a TV show, that's a lot of people. Unless you live in Alaska.
So what does that have to do?
Think about how, there may be, well, I'm saying, but if when we find like these reel-to-reel films.
Oh, you mean you're hoping that someone taped
just,
their
like,
television or something?
Hey, blue ribbons and
I don't know, I was just trying to see what your point was.
My point was, like, their Ghoulardi autograph last year.
Okay.
Which
is awesome.
If we keep digging, you never know what we might find with film.
That's true. You
could have
never
been
know.
At a parade. There's so many people with 8mm films back in the day.
Yeah, you never know. But they're fun to look through too. They are fun. So we need to have another movie night like that where we look through those old film reels, see if there's anything interesting.
Yep.
What are the comments? Does anybody remember the grab bags? You never know what you get in the bag.
From what?
From what? I'm not sure.
Yes, I do. I mean, Dollar Tree used to have
Dollar Tree used to do the grab
but
bags.
It was all garbage, but you know.
But it was all like junky stuff. But what do you get? I mean, it's Dollar Tree.
It's definitely worth a couple of bucks.
Do you think you'll ever find more Ghoulardi episodes?
I don't know. I don't think that. You know what? Do you know the story about that?
So I think there's only 22 minutes saved of Ghoulardi. There's some 8mm Ghoulardi footage that the Ghoul Ron Sweet took that's archived.
No sound, yeah.
But no sound, and it's in color. They would tape over the film. When Channel 8 or TV8, they would just reuse the film. They didn't really save stuff and archive things like they do now. So
John Biggins says if they found old Ghoulardi episodes, who would own them? You know, that's a good question because I think the current management doesn't even know who that is.
And they've TV8 has changed hands so many times.
If they found old stuff, depending on who actually found it, I think a lot of the powers that be would probably think that's nothing to them. Maybe his son Paul Anderson would want something to do with it, or if you could get a hold of him if you found that kind of stuff, he might hook up with you, because his production company, Paul Anderson, is Ernie Anderson's son, one of his kids, who's a big Hollywood director. Did Magnolia, Boogie Nights, a bunch of movies, and his name of his production company is Ghoulardi Productions. Mm-hmm. So if you could hook up with him, he might want something to do with that. I don't know, but I would go to the source. I don't think the TV station cares anymore.
George Shuba used footage thrown in the trash for a Beatles DVD. Michael Stanley narrates, the station just pitched it. Mm. Yeah, I guess some TV networks or stations do that. Like, they didn't think to just keep it or think that it mattered, but it's a piece of history.
You would cry if you're a fan of any of this kind of old television,
that was found in the
local television, how much stuff would... We heard from our friend Larry Tressler about Channel 43.
Channel 43 threw a lot of things away.
They destroyed thousands of hours of footage from decades because they thought nobody cared. Technically, maybe
the manager didn't care, but other people do. But because they make these decisions, and it's like, what are you doing?
Drake H says it right. You gotta find it first.
Yeah.
If you can find it, then that's how it's gonna live.
I'm all for, in my opinion, I'm all for trash picking, dumpster diving. Find those old tapes, find those old film reels, and there's a lot of fans out there that want to preserve it for the rest of the world to see.
So John Suto keeps asking us stuff. So Any summer theme movies that you're planning to might show. If you please show Invasion of the Star. I don't know what that is.
Invasion of the Star Creatures? Let me write that down.
I was gonna take a screenshot. I got it too. Boom, we got it.
I'm writing it down anyway.
I took a screen cap. We're double booked.
Of the Star.
Is that Starman?
Is that a Starman movie? We might have played that one already.
Richard Taylor has a signed autograph postcard of Houlihan and Big Chuck. That's awesome, dude. I found
That's cool.
We went to a thrift. It's more of a resale shop. What was it like? What do you call it? Sweet Lorraine.
Sweet
Antique
Lorraine.
shop.
It's a vintage store, like a vintage boutique.
So check this out, John. So we went there and we were looking through. They have like thousands of old photographs in fish bowls.
This was last fall, I think.
Last year. They have a section of their store where they have like a picture of thousands of like fish bowls or candy bowls, like full of photographs, random black and white snapshots from the 50s, 60s, 70s, whatever. Mm-hmm. I picked one up, and about 2 seconds in, I found a photograph of Houlihan from Houlihan and Big Chuck with some random kid. He must have went to this kid's play, because I contacted his son, Houlihan's son, showed him the picture. He goes, I don't know who that kid is, but that's definitely my dad.
So maybe he made an appearance at someone's school.
So I found a picture of Bob Wells, a.k.a. Houlihan, from the early 70s at some kid's play. Like, it's crazy.
Kramer rescued the Merv Griffith set.
Kramer!
That's funny.
Yeah, we didn't rescue the Ghoul set, but we know who did.
It's
in good hands. It's in good hands.
The Son of Ghoul, he's in the 8mm. I'm not sure what that comment is.
Where you got that?
So about Son of Ghoul.
Who said it? Point to it.
Tom said it.
Point, please.
It's right there. It's Tom. It's right there. Yeah, that one. Someone's got loads of VHS. Just find it before. Okay. Before it goes in the trash.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta always keep an eye out. Yeah, with any of that stuff.
Hey, real quick. So we're talking. So speaking of that, I recently figured out some stuff, and I'm just gonna put it out there. If you guys are fans of the Big Chuck and Little John show, The Ghoul, no matter where you are in the country, because a lot of people can see it, Sammy Terry.
Any of those late night movie
What's
hosts.
the guy in California?
Creature Features, Bob Wilkins.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of who else is out there.
Chili Billy is Pennsylvania.
I haven't seen this popped up, but
okay.
There is a seller on eBay. I'm not going to say his name. You can figure it out.
You should say his name.
I don't remember it, actually. Gates of something, but anyway.
Well, Grimm can tell you in a private message.
I'll say this.
Just explain.
If you go on eBay and you're looking for VHS cassette tapes, not DVDs, because you know if you're getting a DVD, you're getting a dubbed copy, right? Because it's a DVD.
Right.
But a lot of people perceive if you have a VHS tape for sale of a horror host or movie host with a show on it, that it is a legit copy from an analog source. I can't even say that. Like, let's put it this way. There is a seller on eBay. I can't even think of the name right now. And it doesn't even matter because anyone can do this, which is scary. But I recently figured out there's a guy on eBay from Pennsylvania, I'll say that is selling VHS tapes with episodes of Houlihan or Big Chuck and Little John, Sammy Terry, The Ghoul, and Bob Wilkins.
But
amongst a few.
But you found out this individual is recording stuff that's already.
That's what I'm going to say. So these VHS tapes are being sold as tapes that you convert. Because on eBay, if you sell a VHS tape with something on it, like a movie that was taped from a DVD or a VHS or from television, you can't sell that. You can't say, hey, I have Pinocchio recorded from a DVD onto a VHS for sale. You can't do that. But you can sell that same VHS tape
and say it's
used for blanks.
Yeah, it's a recordable tape.
Sold as a blank tape that you can use to record over, okay? That's his go-around. But the difference is this guy is selling each individual tape with one episode of a horror-hosted show for $30 to $40 to $50, okay?
And it's stuff that he's recording that's like let's say he has it on DVD or maybe it's from another tape. He's recording it on a tape to make it look old, like it's off the TV. Right. So he's pretty much scamming people on eBay.
The scam is because when you go on eBay and you're looking for old VHS tapes to buy that have stuff on it, the seller has to say, hey, I'm selling this as it's not a blank tape, but it's being sold as a blank, even though there's stuff on it. And you could buy, and usually when you buy them, they're like $10, bucks for 10 tapes or $20 for 20 tapes. Usually come out to about $1 a tape.
Right.
This guy's selling one videotape with one episode of, right into horror host. Could be Big Chuck and Little John, could be Sven Gulli. He has some Sven Gulli episodes too. Episodes on VHS tape.
That doesn't make
sense. But here's what he's doing. All he's doing, he's taking those. Every single episode that he has for sale is already being freely traded for free amongst if you want to get into trading and finding these old VHS,
you can connect with the fans and trade videos.
Yeah, you can connect with
for free.
There's networks out there. I belonged to one for over 20.
Technically, not supposed to be selling other people's material anyway.
That. But if you trade
it's violating a copyright law.
There's a lot of weird stuff. But if you want to get into trading DVD tapes or DVDs and stuff like that, or even if you want to put on a VHS tape, it doesn't even matter. But the point is that you can't sell it. This guy is taking publicly traded DVD shows, transferring it to DVD, and then selling it as an original tape.
Yeah, he's scamming
for $30 to $40.
He's scamming people.
Don't do this. Don't fall for this scam, okay? Mm-hmm. If you're gonna buy these tapes, find someone that's got them for a few bucks.
Do your homework.
That don't know what they have.
Do your research and ask. Then here's the name.
Gates of Shrines. Drake H knows.
Yeah,
that's the guy.
Do not buy from that person.
And I really do know the guy's real name.
Because those videos are already out there. A lot of them are on YouTube for free.
Yeah.
He's taking tapes and recording stuff off of YouTube and selling them on eBay.
If they're not on YouTube, they're definitely... I found a list that I had from 10 years ago that I was trading with somebody. Every episode that's available on VHS from this guy is on this list I had 10 years ago.
So they took your stuff that you put out.
No, everybody.
Oh, everybody.
Everyone's traded.
So it was the fans.
So he must have been an avid fan back in the day. He has accumulated all these shows, and he's slowly releasing VHS tapes, because the odds of one person in Pennsylvania having Bob Wilkins from California, he has a real analog tape of that. There's no way. And if you did, why would you just sell it for $50 or $40? You sell it for way more.
Now I get it. Like, let's say you sell a pile of old blank tapes that maybe people recorded various shows on. Okay, you could sell them for someone to re-record on there. Maybe they want to watch the old commercials that are on there from the TV. But when you're, like, saying that it's one thing, but it's really something else, that's really deceptive. And it's like a shady way of selling on
we've had some friends that bought like multiple tapes. I was telling them, you might want to look into it, because when I'm looking into this and I see that people, that the tapes that are, the episodes available are ones that we already have or out there in the trade community. I mean, if he had some random shows that weren't available, that could be different. I would pay that much for an episode of any horror host that wasn't out there in the trade, because it's like rare. I mean, you can't. That stuff's not readily available.
Yeah.
But it was the same stuff over and over.
After you did your research.
Yeah, I really found that out today. It was kind of amazing. But you know what? But here's the thing. To eBay rules, he's selling them as blanks. Mm-hmm. He's not selling the episode, so that's the workaround. So it's like a buyer beware thing. I'm not saying that what the guy is doing is like illegal, because it's really not, because according to eBay's rules,
not necessarily.
He's following their rules.
Not necessarily per eBay. He is selling these old blank tapes that you could re-record on, but it's a little deceptive to people that are fans of that genre, and they're trying to find when he's just recording tapes of stuff that already exists out there for the fans already.
Well,
it's kind of like, really, dude? Why are you doing that? But just letting you guys know out there.
Well, you just gotta kind of like do your research.
Do your research. I mean, if you wanted to buy that, that's up to you. But
yeah, I mean,
we found that a lot of it's already available from other fans.
But a lot of people don't even. I know, and here, but the catch is, the problem with that is that, like, I mean, when I started out trading with people, if you have 10 shows to trade of random horror hosts and someone has 300. You have 10 to offer them to their 300. And some people even have come to me in the past that I don't have anything, but I want to start. It's like that thing. Yeah. Well, do you help them out? Do you give them some free show? Do you give them some stuff to start? Maybe, because if they connect with someone that has stuff that nobody has, it would be a benefit to everybody.
Yeah.
But
so we're just putting it out there. You guys can be the judge of that. In my opinion, I think it's not the greatest way to do business on eBay, and I would not buy those.
But but when it comes to horror host shows, I prefer to trade them because there's nothing to do with because you're trading them. You're not paying for anything except for postage.
It's just so it's out there so the fans can enjoy it, and it's art. For historical purposes.
And that's my main thing.
Because some of that video isn't like readily available to go buy in a store.
You can't go on to any it's not archived anywhere usually for for mass consumption. You just can't buy a copy of it at your local whatever store or Amazon.
Right.
This is stuff that maybe someone recorded one off night. Like I have a lot of stuff I recorded in the 80s and 90s because I wanted to record it that nobody else has, but I share it with people because once I'm gone, the tapes are going to get thrown away.
Yeah.
So might as well share it with people that it could stay out there and alive as long as it can.
Mr. Cool Dude, it's a highlighted comment. I wonder if that's a super chat.
David Waldman is not taking the law into his own hands. He's taking him to people's court. He's doing Doug Llewellyn style, baby.
There you go.
Well, I don't even know it has to go to that. I wish the dude would just not do that. I mean, that's kind of mean. But it's not though because he sells us a blank.
But
so
could
it's up
it
to
be?
You.
Could it be someone that was trading tapes in the past?
Of course.
That went,
Of course.
huckster. It's like.
But it's a brilliant scam though. It's a brilliant one because he's not selling you that episode. He's selling you a tape.
A tape
to record over.
Yeah.
And if you want to spend $1 on it or $100 on it, that's up to you.
No.
Just saying.
No.
That's his workaround.
Don't do it.
I'm just saying, just don't do it. I'm not saying what he's doing is wrong. I'm just saying if you buy it,
buyer beware.
Buyer beware.
Buyer beware.
Right, because he's playing within the guidelines, which is brilliant. But I wouldn't do it.
Buyer beware.
I would not do that.
Okay.
I wouldn't do that because I don't want to. I would want to sell somebody an original source tape. I have original source tapes that I taped off of on my VCR from the original broadcast, flaws and all. Which if I put on a DVD, someone else would have, and they could put it on they could dub it to a VHS and say it's an original tape, but it's not.
Right.
And you could tell because there's like artifacts in that recording that would show up, on your dubbed version that could never really happen if you both record the same thing at the same time on different VCRs with different conditions.
Okay, so now that we got that out there, I think we're done with that tangent.
Drake Age, it's not a good crime, not a perfect crime, but it's a good crime, not a perfect, but it is, right.
Yeah, so I think we're done with that little tangent there.
Yeah.
So we were talking about physical media, VHS, Blu-ray, collecting, how a lot of us still like to buy that even though there are a lot of streaming services available. It's nice to have that physical media as a backup. And it's nice to have for your collection if you have like your favorite movies. You can have those go-to movies to watch.
Yeah.
And then we talked about the thrift stores and finding stuff cheap, like at flea markets, finding the carload of VHS tapes.
Can I tell you the coolest Big Chuck and Little John thing I found?
What?
I had to find it again. It's been a while.
Was it on tape?
A cassette tape.
Oh, and where did you find it?
It was at in what's that place called? Where University Inn is at, where Sokolowski's is at. That
I don't know.
Tremont.
The Tremont neighborhood.
Remember that flea market they have in Tremont? They have a map. Remember we went there that one time? It's
that was a yard sale.
It was a long time ago.
It was a community yard sale.
Remember that?
Yes.
So we went to that one time.
Yeah, because that's where we bought that TV cabinet.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
that was a community yard sale.
And I got some cassette tapes, right?
Okay.
And I listened to them finally, and you can hear some kids playing in the background, and whatever. It sounded like a little Citron cassette tape, 60 minutes, 30 minutes.
So it was an audio cassette.
But you could hear Big Chuck and Little John show in the background.
Really?
On the television. It was really cool.
See,
you should put
that up for people to listen to.
I gotta find it. It's been a while, but I think I marked it somewhere. I got it in my old archives, but yeah.
Grimm could build a fort out of the VHS. Like we could build a whole nother house out of the VHS.
I could. Maybe
and the cassettes.
Sorry.
It's wild.
I'm a fiend when it comes to that. I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but it is cool. I mean,
I love my past.
They are cool to look through, but yeah, we got to thin out the collection eventually.
Yeah, I still have a beta player recently. So here's the thing. This is kind of interesting to me. You know how they're doing? What is it? Who's doing the Sunday night movies now?
CBS.
CBS, right, is doing the Sunday night movies.
They're playing the Sunday night movies again.
Forrest Gump and all the Indiana Jones.
Like the classic family movies.
Well, yeah.
Indiana Jones.
Mission Impossible, some of the kind of newer ones. So I've been finding some stuff lately. It's like I got some like late 80s made for TV movies on Betamax. I've been taping like Lonesome Dove, the 4-part miniseries from '89, a Billy D. Williams action
Take a
movie.
sip of that.
What was this?
Mm-hmm. Is there anything left in there?
You won't let me run. There's some left in that. You got anything?
I'm good. I just needed a sip.
Was
of
there anything
something.
in there?
Yeah. There was just enough.
But I'm finding a lot of like CBS Monday, Sunday night movies with the original openings and everything. I love them. I'm converting them to DVD. I got them in our collection.
See, what's old can be cool.
We watched a Charles Bronson movie from the early '90s.
We did, and it was great to see the old commercials too.
Donato and Daughter, I think.
And normally, you know how like we all complain about commercials. For some reason, when you watch it on a tape, you're like, I remember that. It's like nostalgic. I love it.
Yeah. So if you run across any kind of VHS tapes back, send them to us. Okay.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, I mean,
All right. Drake says, that's awesome. Got a couple of reel-to-reel tapes with some audio from Houlihan and Big Chuck and the Ghouls somewhere in the house.
That's cool, Gary. There are some other people out there that have who the guy is who has all this like Ghoulardi audio. He used to tape the show because didn't have VCRs back then. Mm-hmm. But there's one fella out there that's popular within that would tape, Ghoulardi shows on reel to reel.
Nice.
So they're out there.
Well, it's getting a little late, so I think it's up soon. This, I mean, is a great topic. People are very into their digital or their physical media, old old tapes, old film reels, their Blu-ray, DVD sets. My throat's getting dry from talking. Charlie's Angels.
Albert Medaleski has like a campfire. He's out in the wild.
He's out camping while watching.
He's out wilding. Good for you, man. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
I envy you, bro. Hoping I'm gonna do a fire tomorrow night. We'll see.
All right, gang. Well, I'm losing my voice here.
She is. She's getting hoarse.
So, I think we're gonna wrap this up.
But thank you so much. As always, we love talking to you guys and gals. Going back in time, revisiting all the kind of cool stuff that we liked as kids and as young adults and as teenagers. Because, that's what it's all about,
Yeah. So good night, good fright, everyone.
Thank you so much for joining us on The Hangover.
Hit the like button, and check out our Facebook page, The Mummy and the Monkey.
That's right. And we'll see you next week, next Friday, 10 p.m. Eastern on Facebook on the Mummy and Monkey's Hairy Scary Hangout. Mwah! And then following that on midnight here on the Hairy Scary Hangover on YouTube, baby. Yeah. So we'll see you later, alligators. Mwah!
Stay safe. Be nice to each other.
That's what I say.
There you go.